Many thanks, everyone. We're on to the final session of the day, where we're looking at development in reuse and recycling. And this session is going to be led by Mo Patel, who heads up the reuse and recycling membership at UKFT. Mo, over to you.
Hi, everyone. So you'll all be happy to know this is our final session of the day. Obviously, you get me. The final session is on next generation reuse and recycling. Here, we'll explore what happens to textiles at the end of their life and how systems can turn waste into valuable resources. I'd like to welcome Marc Puyuelo, Head of Strategy and Circular Industry Development at COLEO, to the stage. COLEO is a pioneering sorting and recycling company based in Spain.
Thank you very much, and thank you for the invitation to the UKFT, and to Simon for the earlier mention that you dropped us. So first of all, why I'm here and who I am. So I'm Marc, I'm head of strategy of COLEO. So formation-wise, I'm an architect that transitioned into textile industry following his brother, who is an entrepreneur. And COLEO is basically an industrial scale-up located in Barcelona, as you can maybe tell from my accent. And we have activities that range from CMT to weaving, spinning, and defibering, so mechanical recycling, and sorting and preparing waste for recycling, so textile waste for recycling. So we do what you see in the picture, so turning trash into trend. That's what we like to say. And I'm here to tell you that in order to get innovation in action, we need much more than just technology. So we need a stable system that lets these innovators flourish. So since I'm in the introductor of this afternoon session on recycling and reuse, I wanted to give a bit of introduction on what's going on in the industry. And please bear in mind that this comes from my experience in continental Europe. I don't know if it's applied and translates exactly into the UK. But we have three big things happening at the same time. So one is a change in supply. So export for reuse, which was the main business model around for textile waste at scale, is under stress. And we're seeing that in continental Europe with a lot of bankruptcies on collectors and sorters for reuse. And then we have the situation with tech. So I like to say that in the last years we have been living like an techno-optimistical era, no? Where a lot of us thought that there were these plug-and-play solutions incoming that will solve all the circularity problem in the next few years. And with the first bumps in the road, we might end up in a techno-pessimistic era, no? And lose this momentum we had going. And then, last but not least, we have regulation incoming that will make all this circularity and recycling thing legally binding for brands in some countries. So that makes a lot of difference. But not everything is bad news, because we have other industries that we can learn from. So plastics, no, often are very criticized, or plastic recycling. But I tell you that we are no place to criticize plastic recycling. So to give you like a benchmark, in Europe we recycle like 1% of the textile waste, and plastics, they are around 30 to 40% recycling. And how have they achieved this? Well, basically thanks to three things. So good place regulatory levels, so on the side of the waste, EPR schemes, but also on the demand side, so recycled content, mandatory recycled content, and food grading for air PET. Sorting for recycling innovation around NIR, so infrared technology, and pushing mechanical recycling to its limits. So most of the recycling that we do today in plastic is around mechanical recycling, which was the established technology around. And it's easy to understand that no matter how good the technology is, if we don't have a stable feedstock supply and reliable, and we don't have a stable demand for it, it will never scale and it will never flourish. So what have you been doing in COLEO to build this system that I talk about? So now I get to the real business. So thanks to our position as CMT and suppliers of garments to big retailers, we were able to sense some kind of demand for circularity in our customers. So we innovated in the business model to become circularity partners, we say. And we also knew that in Southern Europe, we have We have an existing recycling industry around mechanical recycling with mechanical recycling capacities and people who know how to spin it and weave these fibers and that are really professional. So what we did is we created a new business unit with the idea of transform end-of-life garments into material ready for this industry, let's say. And so what we innovated in is preparing the material to make it stable, building a stock. So shared inventory is a fancy word for saying building a stock, so people undervalue the value added of a good stock, well prepared and well classified, and building traceability on the full value chain so that we could explain our customers what we were doing. We innovated on developing our own sorting tech, which we tailor-made for textiles, so not just translating from plastics to textiles, but thinking from scratch some of the things. We innovated in operations, so quality assurance, security, safety stocks, so very simple things, but in a way that you can have a stock that recyclers can pull from it and in time when they need. And we innovated in developing this traceability tool that is able to track the origin of the waste and enables a future digital product password whenever that comes, and based as much as possible in Internet of Things, so that it's well, more trustworthy, let's say. And then now, so all this we built around mostly pre-consumer waste. So it was garment format, but it was waste not consumed. And now we're getting into post-consumer waste. And so what's the big difference with post-consumer waste? Well, basically, it's the customer part. So in pre-consumer waste, you might have a customer, no? a brand that is more or less interested. But in the big unknown in post-consumer waste is how is this business model going to look? So who is going to pay for the waste management part, the costs, the extra cost? And is this demand for these materials going to be mandatory or not? So these uncertainties don't allow this system to scale. So they keep everybody blocked and looking one at each other, just not knowing what to do. The regulator looking at the brand looking at the technology looking at the industry, and everybody blocked, no? And nothing moving. So now I'm looking at you all in the audience. I know there are brands. I know there are, well, I don't know if there are like policymakers, but I know there's people who talks with them a lot. I know there are innovators, and I know we are all consumers for sure, otherwise we would be running around naked. So brands. I have two bad news. One is this is going to be legally binding in a lot of countries, and there are important countries for you guys. And the other one is that there's no magic technology solution incoming, so plug and play. So we need a hands-on approach to raise demands for these materials. And we need, it will not be business as usual. So you need to rethink a lot of things and restructure a lot of things. For regulators, so all regulators are really worried about the waste part of the problem, let's say, because now the administration is bearing the cost of all that waste. But I think it's critical that they have in mind the demand part of the problem. Otherwise, we won't build a system. We will just be transferring the cost from the public administration budget to the budget of the brands. And we will be not building anything good for society, for the planet, or for anybody, for the industry, or whatever. To innovators, I think we have to focus on traceability. Because if these two guys on top, they're not able to push demand forward if we're not able to explain what we do in a reliable way. So it's literally impossible. And then to consumer, just please care about this. So when you're in the shop, just look for recycled content. It will help a lot. And sorry, I couldn't keep myself from doing that, but if we do this we will turn innovation into action. When I think about innovation into action, I think around a bale of waste that moves through this system that makes it possible to transform it into a new garment, creating positive impact for everybody, for the industry, for the economy, for the planet. And I think that if we build this system, we will enable that all the innovators that will come on this stage after me will be able to flourish and succeed in what they're trying to do. So thank you very much.